Here is a story: Quebec border crossing sees a 277% surge in asylum claims. Data from CPSA shows over 10,000 asylum claims at one port of entry as of July 27th, more than double in the same period in 2024. So I thought this problem was solved. Turns out it hasn't. It's worse than ever. What do you think?
Yeah, it just wasn't, it wasn't covered the way it should have by the legacy press, where it's, the independents have been massive. Juno News has always done great reporting on this, and formerly True North, and a friend of mine, Cosmin, who does great work with you, is always on that beat. But even more troubling in that number, in that asylum claim number, and I've got another stat for you just off the top of my head, just from covering this stuff, which is like 1 in 88 of all people in Canada now are considered like asylum seekers, or like through asylum of the last few years, is that inland asylum claims have jumped. So you have these 3 million temporary residents now, and we wonder why rent has gone up and healthcare is overstretched. But their their visa's expiring, and they're turning around and going like, oh wait, actually, the family farm back home, like, I'm being persecuted back there, even though like my parents sent me over here with money to go to what is largely considered a fake school, to like cut the corner to a PR. And look, there's some really great people who've come. There's no way around that. But there's also been a scam network, and a scam network predominantly run through these really dodgy institutions that have popped up across the country. But now we have hundreds of thousands of what look like fraudulent asylum claims coming from inside the country, from people on expiring visas. And like, we have to start saying no to that stuff. And the fact that that number even coming across the Quebec border is that bad, put all those together, and we have a recipe for disaster if we're not going to take our border seriously. And a country, if it is to be a country, has to take its border seriously.
Well, it's wild that people come to Canada on a temporary visa, and then rather than leaving, they just pretend to be an asylum claimant. And there's so many ridiculous rules. Like, I was reading about this the other day, that while people have pending asylum claims saying that they're persecuted in their country of origin, sometimes they go back. They're allowed to go back and like visit family and go on
Yeah, they
vacation.
go
It's
back
like,
for Christmas. And
well,
so how persecuted are you?